and welcome to Scarlet Serpent readings. Thank you so much for joining me in today's Timeless Pick a Card reading. It's a mystery reading, so we'll find out what each reading is going to be about together, I guess. So we have 3 different piles. Pile 1 is going to be this card, and of course I'm going to have all of these cards paused for you, or you should pause the video. You'll see. You probably already know. But this is pile 2. And then pile 3. Okay, so I have an image up for you now, so you can go ahead and choose your pile. Take your time if you need to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We'll see where it takes us. Hi, pile 1. If you chose this card, this is going to be your reading. And your mystery reading is actually going to be a relationship reading, a love reading. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I just completely avoid them. So it's kind of funny that it showed up, and if you feel the same way about me, then there might be a message for you here. And even if not, there might be something for you here. But of course, because especially for this type of reading, being really a mystery reading, if you don't feel drawn to this pile, of course, you can choose any of the other piles. But yeah, we're just gonna dive in. So what I'm gonna do is I'll do 1 card for your energy, a card for your potential partner's energy, and of course, if you're in a relationship, you can just take this as relationship advice. Otherwise, kind of what you could look forward to potentially. Yeah, we'll see. We'll take it as it goes. But what's interesting is we got the relationship card. And then the next card, the one that you chose actually, is number 18, Enhanced Protection for Beautiful Boundaries. And so regardless of where you're at right now, I think keeping firm boundaries, I mean, obviously, as the card suggests, is going to be important for you. So maybe if you are in a relationship, try not to, or be wary of potential codependency. There we go. Emotional codependency specifically. Just something to keep in mind. I'm kind of sensing 2 things. Both of these cards have double triangles. I don't know if you could see it in this card here. But there's a lot of that fire energy, and something that's meant to come of a coming together with another partner. So maybe this could be a child, but also kind of like a collaborative project, a creative project. But let's go ahead and see. I want to put 1 card for you, 1 card for your potential partner first, and then I'll see what's drawing you together and what's keeping you apart. And yeah, I'll try and keep this short, but let's take a card for you first for this relationship reading. Yep, and then your partner. Wow, potential partner. Okay, I'll let you know after. I'll pull first what's drawing you together. What's drawing you together? Okay, and then what's keeping you apart? This one popped out. Strength. And we'll probably elaborate on these in a little bit, but your card is interesting, and I again, this is, you're gonna have to take this as you will, depending on whether or not you're in a relationship or not. So I'll try and navigate both sides of the coin, but just to keep in mind. But your card is apathy. So if you are in a relationship, you might be feeling a bit stuck or bored or stale. Otherwise, this would be an energy that's almost keeping you from drawing in this next partner into your life. They might be around you physically or energetically at this time, and I think more so than the other person, is just life in general. This might be a bit of a slump for you, which is of course completely okay, but the other person is ending a cycle and ready for something new and really feeling very optimistic. I think naturally their energy might draw you in. And with the Six of Pentacles, this is the card that brings you together, and I could see that as like a balancing between these two pretty different energies of Four of Cups and the World card. World being Saturn, Four of Cups being kind of the moon, or is it the moon? I don't know, I forgot. But or I think the Six of Pentacles is the moon. Either way, the moon's somewhere in this. And it almost feels like a subconscious movement towards this other person. So I think maybe your higher self or your spirit guide is trying to nudge you, but you're just not in the mood to it's weird to say this, but like sometimes we're not in the mood to be happy or to be around happy people. It's just kind of obnoxious. And so meeting halfway, like doing that on your own, would probably feel a bit more natural and less forced. With the card that's keeping you apart is the Strength card. Potentially stubbornness, or not stubbornness, but fierce independence, and seeing that when you are not independent, it's kind of like a weakness. You might, and I think this might have been something with a past relationship, or potentially one that you're in now, where they've made you feel weak because you need another person, or that happens in the media. Well, I guess a lot. Well, it goes both ways, right? Where sometimes like, oh, it's nice to have a happy ending with a person in your life, blah blah, but at the same time there's the opposite extreme where it's like, oh, I don't need anybody, I don't want anybody, I don't need anyone. And I think that attitude and mental wall that's being put up is blocking someone from coming in, because it kind of feels like they are close. And the fact that you chose a relationship reading, which again like, it's funny because if I was watching this right now, I would have clicked off. I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch. And that's just to show the energetic mindset that you might potentially be in, where maybe this person has something to offer you that you weren't expecting, that maybe used to being heartbroken, betrayed, deceived, with the Moon card being here, as though you don't expect balance to be in a relationship just because it hasn't been there for a while. Conversely, if you are in a relationship, I think I don't know. I'm just gonna draw one card in the middle for those of you who are in a relationship, because this feels mostly like a reading for those who aren't, but just one card, just in case anything we need to know about that. The Father of Horns, Father of Cups. It might just be a phase, honestly, like a part of the relationship where it feels a little stale, and I think traveling, going on vacation might be helpful. And potentially one partner being a little exhausted from being overworked. So there's two parts to this. Being overworked, like at work with a job, but another part would be kind of just being around the house, being the emotional support system. That's exhausting, and it's like you might feel unseen sometimes, and vocalizing this would help out a lot. But anything that I think you'd rather be in more turbulent waters than when it's calm, and I think this sense of stability is something that you might have felt you wanted for a while, but in reality you actually like a little bit of motion. You like things to not be too settled down, where even if you have like a stable home, something like that, raising a family, that you still get to travel, you still get to meet new people. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's been like a past partner has tried to keep you from meeting new people or making friends, and that has kept you kind of felt boxed in here with the two trees on either side. it's like being neutral is boring, actually. So let's get some advice. For those, okay, so we'll do, for those of us who are single, advice. Those of us who are already in a relationship, do that in the bottom row. Oops. This one wanted to come out. The Empress. And then we'll clarify these. These are all in reverse. Alright, so top row. We have the Devil energy, the Chariot, and Nine of Cups. And while you don't need another person to be successful or to be happy or to find love, this is saying that you could still be in that energy of, it's funny, it's like having that single mindset, I guess, of feeling not that you're out to get someone, but that you look your best, that you're glowing and you dress up, and there's this excitement in the back of your mind of maybe I'll find someone. And I think just that maybe will draw people in, especially with this Devil energy. I think Capricorn being there, Six of Pentacles being there, you do have a way of drawing people in. And with the Nine of Cups, there's that confidence, and I think this is where you could potentially be at. I just think that with the Four of Cups being there, it's like, why put on makeup or, I mean, not major things, but little things, like it doesn't feel worth the effort. And I think potentially getting out of a depressive state would bring more people in, and not necessarily just bring them in, but allow you to be more aware of who's around you and who wants to interact with you. For those in a relationship, we have the Two of Wands, the Empress, and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. For me, this was reverse, right? Yes, it was like this. Hopefully you can see these okay, because I know the colors might make it difficult to see. But for this, it feels a lot like traveling, a lot like, I think quite literally the Empress was, okay. So maybe a child's on the way, and maybe it feels like Spirit's suggesting that you travel, that you have more money than you think you do. It's just about budgeting and financing, but at the same time, maybe there's like that conflict of whether or not we can have another child just because of the finances, if they allow that sort of thing, and that's a discussion to have, and both sides should, of course, equally be heard. But ultimately, I don't know, with this Two of Wands here, feels like a decision's already been made in a lot of ways, and you'll notice that she's looking towards the left, looking towards kind of the divine feminine side, and so that person would probably be like the ultimate choice, of course, being the mother, but it's a mix of solar plexus energy, allowing that to expand out into the world, expand towards your partner, just in general feeling a bit more exuberant. And I think even if you don't want a romantic partnership, there is something that another person can provide for you. And I think it might just be even a job opportunity. It might just be an opportunity to travel, because I'm just feeling travel a lot with this pile. And with those of you who are single, you might feel that you can't travel unless you have a partner, and it kind of feels as though you might find someone as you explore the world, as you maybe find a new hobby, or could imagine like volleyball specifically for some reason, but doing some kind of cycling or a group that can be free, you can go on meetups or something like that, but that there's a relationship, a partnership that are really kind of remind you of just life and the mystery and that rush of endorphins of kind of finding someone new, and just everything seems magical again. And I think whether or not that's something you're looking for again within a person, it's more of having that spark in life, having that, I guess that's the mystery, right? It's like, what if? The what if is, I think, in general for this pile, something that you're looking for. What's interesting though is that this is the card you chose. And I have a feeling that the boundaries now, it feels more like they're too strong, that the boundaries, you just don't want to let anyone in anymore. And while you do have the protection and the discernment to recognize your own energy versus someone else's, it's to the point where you might not necessarily notice love that's being thrown at you. And that love can be expressed in a lot of different ways. And so just recognizing that expression would bring joy to not only you, but your potential partner. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate your time and your support. It really means everything. And I can't wait to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this card, this is going to be your mystery reading. And your reading is going to be from your ancestors. And they're going to provide, I guess, a little insight into something that's coming in for you. So, a little bit of unveiling. It's kind of funny that the mystery card came in for the mystery reading. This wasn't planned. So there is something coming in for you that you aren't aware of, and your ancestors want to, first of all, provide emotional comfort, but also a bit of light into something that you don't know that's on its way towards you. I'm spoiler alert, if you're interested in pile 1, I'm just glad I'm done with that reading. Because I felt like I just want to get out of this relationship reading. I didn't know how intense that was, so that's interesting. For those of you who are kind of like interested in pile 1, or if you clicked on it and they're like, oh, it's a relationship reading, no, I'm out. Like, I get it. But anyway, this is about, what's coming in for you? What do your ancestors see coming in for you that you are not aware of? Okay. Ugh. You heard that? That's because the Lovers card came in. This is some serious resistance, by the way, so I apologize. But yeah, we have the 2 of Wands, or Swords. The 8 of Pentacles. The 5 of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Wheel of Fortune. So I think in a lot of ways, this reading is about reassurance that something is coming in. It feels as though you've put in a lot of work towards something, and it's like you haven't gotten the results out of it. And that's very, very frustrating, especially considering how long it's been. For some of you, it might be a relationship. I guess that's why I even bothered mentioning a relationship in this pile, that you've been putting in the work for yourself or in a romantic partnership, and then that's coming into life. But I feel more so that this is just a union with yourself and with maybe a friend or something. Because with this Wheel of Fortune card, it just feels very, very nice that this cycle is finally over of being stuck. And I think it's about time where things start being drawn to you. And this mostly feels financial. But it also has to say with emotional comfort and mystery, it's like part of this journey of becoming more you, if that resonates or makes sense, that Part of this mystery and what's being unveiled is an even more full understanding of who you are, who you're meant to be in this world. And that's the big thing, who you're meant to be in this world, where you're not just aimlessly wandering anymore, with the number 25 being here, emotional comfort. I don't know, I just feel as though this pile's felt a bit left in the dark by the universe as a whole sometimes. I mean, we all do at some point, but maybe it's been particularly heavy for a while. And although you put in the work and you put in the amount of time, there's a lot of strength that you possess, but it's just not translating quite well. And I think that's part of your journey is figuring out, well, not figuring out, but understanding why, and that's usually easier in retrospect. So this is more of your ancestors saying there's going to come a time where it starts to make more sense, and during that time you'll be a lot more kind of honed in on how to attract, because I think you're always attracting, but what you're attracting and how much of it you're attracting is still something that your ancestors notice you're working on perfecting. So let's get another row of cards just to elaborate on what this is. And it's funny because the mystery isn't exactly revealing itself, but it is saying that something big is coming, and this revelation will kind of unlock the doors for you in navigating this planet. Okay, so these were all in reverse, so I'm just going to put it upright. The Empress is showing herself again, just in a different deck, but we do have the Empress here underneath the Two of Swords. And these are two opposing energies, with the twos reminding me actually of kind of the masculine aspect with Neptune, decision making and being firm in these decisions, whereas the Empress is more about leading through the heart and allowing things to grow. And so that balance is probably part of where you're at right now. Justice under discipline. Okay, so I mean, justice here, although this card may look intimidating for some, I think with this it's a beautiful card. You'll notice that the trees in the middle, the justice is in between these two trees. You could even see it as like, if you read the card as though it's the Kabbalah and there's these two columns, severity and mercy, and then in the middle is mildness, and this is kind of the mildness that you provide, this neutral state. And by balancing these two out, that's how you get to this neutral state where you'll have more of an impact as this justice card. But it is to say that, like, again, the hardships, this scarcity, that it might not seem fair, but the wheel is turning. The wheel of fortune is turning, and it's turning in your favor, and it's about time. And I think that in itself is worth celebrating. We do have the Son of Arrows. And I'm going to get two more cards. What's interesting is that the Prince of Swords, Page of Swords, Son of Arrows, we have the Hierophant, and Eight of Wands. So 8 showing up twice. With strength, in this case, communication, movement. It seems as though this part of your life that you've been enduring has been almost like a preparation phase before this next thing that you're moving into, which is going swiftly into action, swiftly into I don't know, it just feels like you'll find a way in an unexpected place with this being here. And I think that's the mystery too, is it'll seem to come out of nowhere, but it's also brought about by your not inquisitiveness, curiosity maybe. What's interesting is the Lovers and the Hierophant right next to each other. The Hierophant bringing down wisdom from the heavens, from your experience, jotting it down in this case, but also grounding it and sharing it with others. So it almost feels as though this experience of potentially heartbreak, again with romantic partners, feeling unfair in society, financially, the amount of work that you've put in, or just that you're being set up to fail, all of this needs to, I don't know, it feels almost like needs to be revealed to the world in some way, and that by you bringing that out into the world, that's actually what brings the fortune, right? That's what brings opportunity, and it's like the more you give from your broken heart, from your shattered mind in a lot of ways. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to have that kind of intensity to it, but it's just very swift. It's very sudden, but welcome. So I'm just gonna get a couple more cards. Any guidance on how to make this happen sooner? Oh wow, yeah. I just moved the cards in a way to allow for another couple cards to go in between the place where you feel you're at now and where you're headed. The Nine of Cups showing up again. Two cards here. The Hermit and the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands showing up twice in this reading, and the Hermit. So either this would be inspiration, and I'm sure it is, at least a little bit, from Spirit. The inspiration, the communication towards you as to where to go, and then that communication going through you and towards others. We'll see that it's like through meditation, that's when a lot of this healing comes in, because there's still some healing from having gone through a lot of turbulent times, or not necessarily intense, like not like that. It's been more, how do you say this? That's how it is. Or it just feels like why even bother continuing? But you have the resources within yourself. You have that wisdom, and that's the biggest thing, is that the way towards real freedom and joy has to be through connecting with other people. And again, it's like you keep attracting something, so by dialing in on how you are bringing people, situations into your life and tweaking that up a little bit, or as much as you can, and that's all with you, with the Nine of Cups, with kind of supporting your own foundation, giving yourself that love, regardless of even how much money you do or don't have, regardless of whether or not you're single, regardless of the burdens of the outside world, is that taking care of your emotional well-being is extremely important, and allowing the world to move for you. And I think you might get a glimpse as to this, what it actually is, what this mystery is really about, through the Hermit card, through being still. And as uncomfortable as the stillness may be, it does feel like it is your way out, towards joy, towards freedom, towards interacting with like-minded people. But it starts with you. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought. Yeah. I'll see you at the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose this card, this is going to be your mystery reading. What does it say? Past life, present power. And that's what your reading is all about. How is your past life affecting you now? And then we also have the combustion card. So straight away it feels like it's just something that's been locked away within you that's bursting out. Past life wisdom is allowing you to spread your wings, but we'll see what it's about. So the first part is your past life, and then the second part will be how is it affecting you right now. So let's get maybe 3 or 4 cards about your past life. We have the High Priestess, the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, I could imagine something like that. Like a doctor or priestess, someone that people would go to for advice. Maybe a therapist with the Death card being there. You're well respected. And a person who, again, people come to for inspiration, guidance, and healing. And I could see that you worked very well at night, specifically, and maybe even with kind of shadow entities. Not like in a bad way, but as far as understanding the secrets of nature in general. I could imagine something like dream weaving. But yeah, with the accomplishment card, the 9 and 6 of Pentacles. There's like, you set the groundwork for potentially a religion, a way of being, like a doctrine or something like that. And it came through your wisdom and your connection to the moon. And I don't know if you have a moon guide or if that's something you resonate with, but I wouldn't be too surprised. That or sort of like a dark goddess energy is very strong with this pile. And so I feel as though this transformation is really something that you've prepared for in past lives, that your current life, that your higher self knows about. This combustion is something that's manifesting through you, kind of like a sunset or sunrise, how the sky changes in color, making way for the next phase. And so I think that's what's happening, is that there is a next phase in your life where this High Priestess feels safe enough to disclose some of this wisdom, because not everybody's able to receive it. It can be seen as abstract, or in a lot of cases just evil or bad, or whatever that case may be. So let's see how this is affecting your current life. Yeah, kind of like a leader of a religious group, or maybe like an occult group, something like that. Or I can almost imagine like studying dead things, so mediumship, but maybe in a scientific sense. That's something that you might have worked with, and using kind of like bones, a lot of bone work, bone rituals, and even, I don't know, for some of you might find that the sound of bones kind of like is soothing. If you've heard them in like video games or the media, it's like hollow, like that hollow noise can kind of trigger something for you. Although I haven't looked on YouTube, I don't know what that would bring up, but some sort of sound effect like that might trigger something. And I think, I don't remember this, but with shamanism, there's like a hollow bone meditation or something like that you might want to consider looking into. But this almost feels like more of the witchcraft is coming forth as a more integrated part of daily living. So underneath the High Priestess, we have the King of Swords. Maybe writing about this experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was coming through in your dreams. But I could also see this as like guarding the secrets of your past life. Not everyone is allowed access. Because it is a cult, it is like secret wisdom of the universe and its inner workings. We have the Page of Cups underneath altruism. But that doesn't mean you have to be serious. that life, that movement is what causes the information to come in and to also spread more easily. It's like casual conversation while going on a jog or walking, that it's easier to not get the attention, but retain the attention of other people when you're conversing in this sort of way, when it's more lighthearted, when you're kayaking or just outside doing art, kind of like that tipsy art painting. You get like a bottle of wine and you paint, and then what you draw is surprisingly occult, surprisingly like a message from your past lives, but it's approachable for yourself and for others. We have the Five of Pentacles underneath the accomplishment card, which is the Nine of Pentacles. So maybe you don't feel like this Nine of Pentacles is even possible right now because you're in this five energy. And so part of this reading is, and maybe if you haven't done sort of like past life work, so that you could almost feel what it was like for you to have this level of abundance, so that you could move freely, pursue whatever it is that you wanted without limitation, education, stuff like that. Because that energy is still with you. And I think the biggest thing so far, well, part of what's bringing the past life into this present is there's that I was gonna say like disillusion, but dissonance between what you have now and what you could potentially have and what you've already had. Like energetically, you know that you should be able to more easily support yourself, or not just support yourself, but have the resources to take this high priestess wisdom and bring it forth, whether that be just marketing, finances, getting a channel or a podcast started or something like that, or even the materials for art, so that you could actually, so if you wanted to do digital art, like having those resources that might have been a problem coming forward, or so far anyway, but that's not to say you're limited or bound by not having those resources. And then we have the Death card with, what is this? Queen of Pentacles. Let's get another card for this, because this is standing out a little bit for me. I'm going to get one more card from this deck for your present, how this is affecting your present, and then I'll go back to the past. This one wanted to come out. Oh, the reverse again. I do that a lot. But I'm putting it upright because the whole deck was in reverse. And it's the Four of Pentacles. Let's get another card, actually. I don't know. I'm noticing just how much she's holding on to the Pentacles. It's almost like you have more than you know, and that it is a good investment if it is to further your education, or to as an investment in you, the ability for you to spread your knowledge and your wisdom, your information, your creativity is a worthy investment, and kind of maybe even changing the mindset of what you allow yourself to spend money on, as long as it's, of course, responsible. But let's get a card for the past. Your past self, and how is this affecting you right now? The Chariot. Very interesting. I don't know, part of this feels like your spirit team wants you to remember how, I mean, that's a bit general, how powerful you are, but I think if it's not as general, if you were to remember exactly who you used to be as a leader, as a person of high ranking, and actually imagining yourself being at this high ranking, so it doesn't feel so alien to you, so it doesn't feel like it's so far out to imagine yourself doing a TED Talk in the future, where that's something that you would have done regularly. And I think in this lifetime, it almost feels like there's been a pull away from your past life, as to, like, it feels like you've been diluted in this lifetime. And that's not by you. I think part of that is the growth into coming back into your full power with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords. I mean, I feel like these two go together for this reading a lot. King of Swords, kind of sharing that wisdom from the High Priestess, and then the Queen of Pentacles is using the resources that you already have to support yourself, specifically yourself, more so than family. And by yourself, I mean like your small business or your own company. But this is something that supporting of yourself is what helps you put the word of your past life. I think your past life wants to speak through you, to express itself through you. And the only limitation is thinking that you and your past self are different people, that you aren't this authority figure, which you are. So I think like meditating on that would be very helpful, and help catapult you to the next phase of your life, which is one of leadership and forward motion. I think traveling as well, because all these cards were moving forward, at least the ones in the past section. Your past life, always moving forward, taking what you know and continuing the cycle of consumption and procreation, really. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the reading there. I think I'm gonna pull, don't tell the other piles, I'm gonna pull one more oracle card just to close out the reading. Concealed. So there's that mystery. It's underneath, it's within you, it's in another dimension, really, but it's still a part of you, just because you can't see it, just because you don't live it in this 3D, lifestyle, and this, 3D earth or whatever. It's still there, and this wisdom is what wants to come out, almost as the moon, to be shared with others. And the first part of doing that is kind of just knowing what truth lies within you that's ready to, be shared. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care.